So now we're going to go over our gears and so see what's in our kits. I have my f-stop bag here. It's one of the ultra lights, so it's incredibly lightweight backpack. They have this great frame in here, so it does keep it rigid, and an internal unit in here that we put all of our gear into. So I have my sunscreen here on the side, which is probably going to get baked. I have my Camelback in here, so tube's coming out as this nice little tube. But in terms of the actual photography gear, I pretty much just brought my one camera and one lens. So I have some lens cleaners, I have my Pola, and a little disposable camera just for fun, getting some film shots and stuff. And then I have my Nikon D800 with 24 to 70 millimeter lens. I have other lenses, but I wanted to just try and stick to this one lens, not bring too much other gear. I was able to put some food in here. We have obviously our video camera and stuff, so a lot of that gear goes in here as well. And can strap the tripod to the side. So currently there's not a whole lot in here, but really for my photography purposes, I would just have this, have some trail mix in here, Cliff Bars, my water obviously. And then as the day goes on, I have my jacket in the back in case it gets kind of cold. So this size backpack definitely has enough space. It probably has more than enough space for most people. There are smaller ones, but this is about perfect for me because it also works for other big productions. That's my bag.
Phil here, and I wanted to show you what I'm bringing in my kit. So might be more like one of you who are just starting out. I do have my camera here, which is the Canon 70D, which is sort of a beginner mid-level DSLR from Canon. It's a great camera for just starting out, and I think you can shoot some pretty cool pictures with it. Right now I'm using the Canon 10 to 18 millimeter lens, another sort of starter lens. It's pretty inexpensive, but it's a great wide lens for getting those big wide landscapes. I also like being out here and getting really close up to specific things like a Joshua tree or another plant or flower, and you get this kind of nice wide angle look. I do have my microphone on here, which isn't for photography, but I'm shooting some behind the scenes video, which is cool. And I'm using a Gorilla Pod, which is a really cool little tripod thing. It's got these legs that you can maneuver around. It's great for setting down on the ground, on rocks, on trees, really whatever when you're out here in the field. And the only other photo gear I have with me right now is my other lens, which is the Canon 24 to 70 and a couple extra batteries. I have an 128 gigabyte SD card, so that's good enough for thousands of photos that we're going to be shooting this weekend. And I've packed it all in this little day pack. It's got a nice Camelback too, so I've got my water packed in here. I've got some snacks, sunscreen. I even brought a book, so when we just can hang out and chill, I can take a little read. And I do also have an emergency kit in here just in case we are kind of scrambling over some rocks and things to get some cool shots, and you always want to be prepared. So this is Phil, and this is my kit.
So I have a bigger f-stop bag, and it's a little bit extreme, mostly because we were carrying more gear. Typically when I'm shooting at home in cities, I have a think tank backpack with all of my photo gear, but the big f-stop bag is nice because you get the support around your chest and around your waist, which is nice if you're carrying a lot of gear. I actually have a little bit more stuff than Sam that I brought out. So let's take a look. So I'm shooting with my Fuji X-T2. I have switched to mirrorless instead of Canon, mostly because I love it. No, it's just a smaller, lighter weight camera, which is actually really great for hiking and traveling. I left my vertical grip on my X-T2, mostly because I can carry 2 extra batteries inside the camera unit and not have to think about it or worry. And I love the grip on it when I'm just kind of running around hiking. I have a 14 millimeter prime lens that I've been shooting most of my landscapes with on this trip. And then I also have 2 128 gig cards inside the Fuji. I did bring my telephoto 50 to 140, which I don't really know if I'm going to use this, but I brought it just in case we might want to do some really long, like Sam was talking about, really long telephoto landscape photos, because that's definitely a style. It's a little heavy, so that's why I have the bigger backpack. I also have a polarizer for my 18 to 55 kit lens, which is a great lightweight lens for landscape and just running and gunning. It adds me a little bit more telephoto than the 14, but it's not quite as wide. The bummer part is my Pola. I only have a 58 millimeter Pola that only goes on my 18 to 55. And then also for nighttime stuff, and if we were doing longer exposures, I have a trigger. for specifically for my XT2, where I can use bulb and do way longer exposures, longer than 30 seconds, if that's the case. Aside from that, I've got my water bottle on the side, making sure I stay hydrated. This jacket comes off and on, I just throw it in the top. But yeah, that's pretty much it.